Okay, hold on to your seats. We got a big word we're talking about this morning, but we're going to make sense of it. It's called acute hepatic porphyria, okay, or AHP. So what it is, well, imagine experiencing these excruciating, painful attacks, chronic symptoms that disrupt your life for several years, and in many cases 15 or more years. That's right, before finally learning about what the heck it is and that you're living with a rare genetic disease. And now we've got a new documentary making sense and shining a spotlight on AHP. So here to tell us more about this, we've got the doctor in the house and, of course, Megan, a patient featured in the film. So let's start with Dr. Peter Emanuel, a healthcare professional with experience in AHP management. And doctor, what is AHP and why can diagnosing it be so challenging?
Well, first of all, thank you for having me. I'm a hematologist oncologist in Little Rock, Arkansas, and do take care of a number of patients with porphyrias. AHP is a group of diseases called porphyrias that can be very difficult to diagnose, mostly because they're so rare, the doctors don't think of them at first. And the patients present with a constellation of symptoms, but mostly abdominal pain and nausea. And so the doctors usually are thinking of much more common problems like gallbladder problems, appendicitis, or any other number of abdominal problems. And they only tend to think of porphyria after the patient has already gone through a multitude of different tests and sometimes exploratory surgery.
Boy, it just sounds like a nightmare. So, doctor, how can this rare disease be detected earlier, to shorten some of this pain?
Mostly it's recognition. Mostly it's the primary care physician thinking about the diagnosis of porphyria in his multitude of different possible diagnoses and or referring them on to a specialist so that the proper testing can be done and the proper diagnosis made.
Okay, let's bring in Megan now. And Megan, thanks so much for joining us and sharing your story to help others. Now, tell us about your journey. It's been quite a journey for sure, and how you received an accurate AHP diagnosis.
Yes, thank you. So I first started having symptoms around the age of 12 years old. Puberty was my first trigger for me. Hormones can be a huge trigger for some AHP patients. My mother took me to every doctor she could get to listen to us, and they ran test after test. And eventually, even the doctors started to wonder if it was all in my head. And ultimately, it was a doctor who, vaguely remembered reading about AHP in med school that thought to test me for it at the age of 18. So 6 years I went in excruciating pain and not knowing what was going on.
Wow, something else there. And what is the goal of the film, Two of Me, Living with Porphyria?
Well, our hope is to shorten that 15-year diagnosis time by encouraging people to tell 15 people after watching the Two of Me documentary. If people would like to learn more about the film, they can go to pinpointahp.com and learn more. Thank you so much for having us, and also thank you to Alnylam for inviting me to share my journey.
Yeah, we really appreciate you, Megan, and the doctor. And of course, you can check out our website now for more on this, and that's at firstcoastliving.net.